Hello, this is Ryder here with a review of the Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger and Avataro Sentai Donbrothers DX Enya Rideon. As you can see here, I don't have it because I didn't want it. So just like Machine Hoodie, we only have the Avataro gear instead. So, here we have the Donbrothers Sentai gear that was included with Enya Rideon as, for some reason, it had a Sentai gear attached to it and such. And obviously, it's kind of weird covering this at this point because obviously we're in Boonboonjer, and this was used as a way. This was a transitionary item, obviously, because of the fact, despite this being the base of an Avataro gear, it's classified as a Sentai gear due to the new plate that's added and such. As the plate here is not a paper insert, it's an actual new plastic piece that actually replicates an Avataro gear, obviously, because we have Don Momotaro here and number 46. Obviously, because I got this secondhand, it's completely scratched up and such, to which I kind of had to blame the seller for not verifying that because they had a picture of this pristine. So obviously, again, the base of it is an Avataro gear, so it's still the same moldings and such. But again, this was supposed to be our first look at an Avataro gear. You can tell it's a Sentai gear because of the fact it doesn't have both of these filled in and such. And this one is B020, and obviously the clips here are blue because of the fact that was the clear. They were just using the clear blue plastic that was a part of Enya Rideon. So again, in comparison with the Don Momotaro Avataro gear, as you can tell, the clear difference and such. And just, again, I think it's actually kind of smart just to make the clip here a big plastic piece, because as you can see here, it still has the slits for the paper, but obviously there's no point of them because it's already, the plastic cover is already covering that. So it's kind of neat how they got that to work and such. And also, I guess Enya Rideon's is a bit darker of a red plastic and such. But other than that, yeah, and here's the Sentai gear again, just to compare with the transitionary period and such. Because obviously, I guess I have to more view this as a Zenkaiger item because it is a Sentai gear. But basically, obviously, the big thing is that these no longer have Kikai sides. But this one had a reason of why it didn't have one. But let's use it in our Zenkaiger items. So, obviously we'll use the gear layer because that's what this gear was used for, because it was actually used. So this is our second. This uses the notches here use the second new hero sound set that's programmed into here. Obviously, because 2 Kaiser used the first set and such. To which technically, in the case of here, this is our canon usage of the new hero sound, because obviously again, 2 Kaiser used the other one and such. But because of that, it's just the same sounds. Also, I want to apologize that, like, from this point on, I'm being lazy and just setting the Geartlinger down to represent the hero side. Or I'm just not holding it while I'm doing the hero side, so... But obviously, again, you can't flip it, because, again, it won't secure itself and such. And also, because then you will end up scratching this thing more. And then we will actually jump to the Geartlinger, as we've been covering that excessively. Obviously, in the case of this thing, this actually does matter, because obviously the 2 Kaiser sound is retroactively changed, or the first New Hero sound got retroactively changed into 2 Kaiser, so this is the sole way of getting the New Hero sound. So this sound is new for the Geartlinger. But obviously, as we know from all of this, so yeah. And again, we keep bringing up 2 Kaisers. We will use the Geartlinger, because because of the fact it's like, well, if 2 Kaiser was the first New Hero sound, then what is this New Hero gonna do? We get the special sound, which is technically new, and actually gives the Geartlinger something to do, which is, again, pretty cool and such. And obviously, it just basically uses the sounds that are for, like, Zenkaiger and, like, the other Senpaigers and such. It's just, at least special in a way is, like, it's a neat way of getting the special sound, because, like, technically, obviously, at this point, there was no way of getting the general special sound. Obviously, the dance scene still says Senpai, or Sentai. And then the finisher. So yeah, that'll basically be, I think we finally covered the basis of all the uniquely red gears in the Geartlinger, finally. Obviously, that's technically not it of what we can show, because of the fact we've already covered Donbrothers. So if we were to use this gear in the Dawn Blaster, so for the most part, honestly, to my disappointment, it's literally just the same transformation as Don Momotaro. However, they do acknowledge that this is a different gear, because, like, obviously it is, But I do like the end part that basically comes from the Zonglass sword and the sound of Enya Rideon going off. Like that, I appreciate that a lot. I kind of just would have liked if this was treated like the other Senpai gears though, where it's just a like avatar change of Donbrothers as opposed to just a Don Momotaro gear, but obviously all of these are the same. That was from the demo. And obviously I did mention it, so here is the Zonglass sword as I accidentally activated it. However, the Zonglass sword acknowledges this as a Donbrothers gear because it actually lights up all 5 members in an interesting order because they moved up. So I guess originally Inu Brother was supposed to be the second one, but then they moved him to be the 4th one and such. And that's, again, I'm not gonna really try to dive much into the Donbrothers stuff because this is mostly a Zenkaiger item. And I've done a poor job at actually showcasing the special Zenkaiger gears into here, so like Omikoshi Phoenix just treats it as Don Momotaro, sadly. Ninjark Sword just reads it as the Donbrothers, and the Tiger Dora reads it like a normal Donbrothers Avataro gear. But interestingly, I guess not interestingly, the Ryuko no Geki just reads it off as a, again, Don Momotaro gear. So overall, I think this gear is pretty worthwhile. Even disregarding the Donbrothers stuff it's compatible with, I think with the Zenkaiger stuff, well, again, it's not, technically it's not much, but like, I kind of like, I like the novelty of this item a lot and such. Just because it's cool that like they actually went with this, or it's a cool way of like still of introducing the next gimmick item, but still revolving itself in some way to the previous series and such. We never, I guess technically most people can say like the Oneness buckle is to that extent, but it's like, yeah. But like, obviously in the case of Donbrothers, this was actually, Enya Rideon itself is a Donbrothers thing that showed up in Zenkaiger. Even, like, I don't know, Enya Rideon's weird because it's clearly a Zenkaiger thing because it's based off of Senchan, but it's not explained in Donbrothers of why it's a bird, and it's the most outlandish thing out of that series when you look at the entire arsenal. But like, this is like a really cool item, and it's just a really cool way of just having Donbrothers represented in the traditional Sentai gear fashion while it's still maintaining its own aesthetics and such. And again, it's it's a nice way of actually still getting a new notch pattern, even if the sound isn't new and such. It's new. Like, technically, the weird thing is that technically it's only in the Geartlinger where it's not new, but in the Toldlinger and the Geartlinger, it's new. So it's like, it's kind of weird where the main device it's for doesn't actually provide anything new, but in the other devices it does. Now, obviously, I've alluded to this before. You're forced to buy a bike if you actually want to get this thing, which I'm obviously I didn't want to do. Despite, like, I do like Don Zenkaiger. Don Zenkaiger is actually a pretty cool mech. It's just that obviously I haven't collected Sentai mechs in a while, and just because I don't want to, and the majority of them haven't been appealing to me. So, like, obviously I had to go through the effort of trying to get this thing secondhand, which is obviously the reason why this is the most scuffed up gear I own now. Because I got this thing for $10 off of Japanese Mercari. And such. To which, obviously, these things are really hard to actually see listed because no one wants to get rid of the gear. Everyone wants to get rid of the bike itself, and is like, no, I don't want the bike. Even though I do have a Yudo Don Momotaro, I just don't want the bike. So, obviously, this dilemma could easily be resolved if you actually do pick up Enya Rideon, or if you actually have someone that doesn't want the gear with Enya, because the thing is that the gear is required for the formation, and it's like, obviously to most people they're going to be like, why would I not want the gear with the bike? Or like, why would I want to have an incomplete Don Zenkaiger formation? Because again, the gear is used for the attacks. So, like, if you do want to buy into, like, if you want to get Don Zenkaiger, like, you have two ways: buying Enya Rideon and Don Zenkaiger set itself. Like, it's pretty easy to do that. It's just whether or not you actually do want the mech. I didn't want the mech, so I went through a really hard effort to get this thing by itself. Was it worth it? Yeah. It's not in the case of, like, Machine Hoodie, where, like, that's, like, way more, like, reasonable of, like, yeah, I don't want to get the bike. In this case, it's like, because, again, the icon didn't do anything with the bike, so it's like, why would you, like, of course, like, that's more explainable as to why, like, oh yeah, I only got the icon, I didn't get the bike. In this case, it's like, why would you want the gear but not the, like, set? Or, like, why would you want the set but not the gear, kind of thing?